What fashion design students have to learn? Should we promote sustainability as much as it's possible? And who can change it? And what are the answers of experts from different fields of industry?
In Institute of Circular Economy in Prague, we believe that yes, because if we would like to achieve sustainability overall in the fashion sector, we need to educate the designers to change the way they create clothing, to change the way they make their designs in a way that would enable circular future for fashion industry. And not only this, I believe that we can incorporate critical thinking elements for them. Fashion itself is a multidisciplinary brand and branch of activities, and we can incorporate social science perspective to the fashion studies as well to assess what are the social impacts of fashion and as well environmental one.
Pokiaľ chceme udržateľnú módu a ekológiu celkovo dostať do našich bežných životov a myslenia, potom túto tému musíme dostať do škôl. Z pohľadu budúcich dizajnérov je dôležité, aby sa pri svojom štúdiu potýkali najmä s reálnymi riešeniami problémov, ktoré ich v budúcnosti čakajú. Názorné ukážky toho, ako ekologicky žiť a ako sa ekologicky obliekať, sú totiž ešte aj v dnešnej spoločnosti stále našou slabou stránkou.
I think it's even more important now. The concept of sustainability must be integrated naturally by any school program or designer they want to start by creating the product. After, it's also how it will be transparent and deep when you integrate the sustainability into your production and your concept, and how it helps to reduce the carbon footprints, the impact on the environment, and also how you incorporate your product into the blockchain and being circular fashion.
Education is necessary to ensure that we start building a better tomorrow and have a more stable future together. Sustainable development in all levels and in all social contexts is paramount in order to transform society. And one way to achieve this is by reorientating education and helping people develop knowledge, skills, values, and behaviors needed for sustainable development. We need to relook at education and at the wider outcomes, not just individual modules or individual projects. Every part of the program needs to become integrated on sustainable and sustainability issues. Universities have recognized this and have started to introduce teaching and development of sustainable practices in order to educate designers and entrepreneurs of the future. This will lead to the breakdown of barriers between disciplines and then lead on to advances in areas such as biomaterials. There are universities that are teaching these new courses and have started rewriting the whole curriculum and right from scratch.
Production of textiles and their consumption, they are jointed vessels, and if we would like to make a great impact on the production side, we need to impact the consumption side as well. I believe that if we educate public that sustainable choice is the only choice for the fashion industry, we can achieve a big step forward sustainability in this industry. I believe that consumers react well, and many of them are already aware of the impacts of fashion, but on the other side there are lots of clothing which is being produced every year. We are growing the textile mountain. Some of the consumers are already aware of their choices and they are making those sustainable choices by design or by default, but many of them are still buying very cheap clothes. But I'm not blaming the consumers. I believe that we should make affordable the sustainable fashion for them, and sustainable should be choice number one, because if your financial situation doesn't allow you to buy for example, a winter coat which will last for not just one season but 5 seasons or more, then it is the problem of it's not the problem of the consumer. It's absolutely understandable that not everyone has access for it.
Z pohľadu médií je dôležité hľadať najmä neustále nové koncepty, ako udržateľnosť propagovať. Ten, kto chce, si informácie nájde. Horšie je zaujať tých, ktorí túto tému nepovažujú za dôležitú. Vidíme to každý deň aj pri našej práci a zda najväčšími nepriateľmi médií, ktoré sa snažia slow fashion propagovať, sú rôzni influenceri, ktorých sleduje veľké množstvo staršej i mladšej generácie a ktorí podporujú fast fashion. Rôzne kupóny, zľavové kódy, to je obchodná politika, ktorá tu už roky funguje. Ak chceme obrátiť záujem na našu stranu, na stranu udržateľnosti, potom musíme priniesť taký koncept, ktorému ľudia uveria a ktorý ich v tom udrží.
Well, for me, I think the brand has to think back at the time of teleshop. You know, when the customer came to choose the fabric and directly make the clothes with the maker or the designers. Of course, pre-order, you know, could be a way to make this happen, but designer, they really have to think of the way to gather community, to create the value and emotion around the product. But this is for sure like how it used to be, the way, like by showing a collection and not even be sure if you will get an order. This doesn't go with sustainability anymore.
Sustainability in design is much more than just the design of the garment itself. We recognize catwalk shows at times can be very over-excessive, but the answer isn't simply to stop them from happening, but to relook at them, what they represent, and work out how we can redesign them. The present is a perfect time to open dialogues about how we can all operate better. One way to do this is by using fashion weeks as a method of encouraging different voices, a diverse range of voices to be heard. At Fashion Scout, we're already doing this with our Fashion Scout digital platform during London Fashion Week. We're enabling people from around the world, designers and other people, to have their visions and their voices heard. We can also working with sales agents and PR agents about doing more sustainable and more easily accessible platforms.
We need a joint action of many actors. I believe that big fashion brands, fast fashion brands, they can have very substantial impact on the change, but as well we need the action from the states, we need the action from the multinational organizations which promote the sustainable rules for production of the garments, and the industry setting the rules, because if we have, let's say, the trade agreements allow this system to exist, I believe that we need to change the trade agreements as well.
Osobne si myslím, že už až budúca generácia. Našou úlohou je najmä vychovávať, nepoľaviť v osvete a tlačiť túto myšlienku udržateľnosti všetkými možnými kanálmi, na ktorých dnešní mladí počúvajú. Tá moc niečo zmeniť je už potom až v rukách našich detí.
To me, upcycling remains the most sustainable process. First is using existing products. Second, it creates unique pieces. And third, innovation in the product. And trust me, there is tons and tons of ideas and materials waiting to be upcycled on the planet. I'll give you an example. I love what Nicole McLaughlin, a designer from LA, is doing, because she's really pushing boundaries in terms of design, using recycled materials such as plastic, rubbers, and how she puts creativity now also brings here some new business model. You know, she can work with tutorials on how she's making like the upcycling product, or she can work with different association and collective, and this is to me fantastic. But also it could be one designer called Louise Dagon from France. She's actually going in all the different flea market, collecting, you know, the buttons like she find, you know, from different jacket, and from those buttons she actually turned them into bracelet, into jewelry, and also created like unique pieces. So to me, there is no boundaries for upcycling.
So we're at a pivotal time where young generations can be the game changers. They can influence change, they can be that change. All designers need to think about sustainability and how and what they can do. Think about your carbon footprint. Think about how you could actually make smaller collections, capsule collections, seasonless collections, genderless collections. All of these things add together such great value to your brand, but also adds to the longevity of clothing, which in itself means that it becomes more sustainable. All governments need to take sustainable fashion seriously. All governments could be doing more to be helping the industry adapt and grow in this area. The Nordic countries, for me, are the ones who are doing the best, with the Swedish government funding many research projects which have a collective message of working towards a world beyond next season. The Copenhagen Fashion Summit, which has been supported by Denmark, has been instrumental in bringing to the forefront changes and projects for sustainability around the world. But I believe that everybody has the responsibility to do this, and this includes our governments.
Na Slovensku máme hneď niekoľko skvelých konceptov, ktoré sme aj my podporili, od rôznych second-handov, cez ekomódne akcie až po hnutie, ktoré sa zaslúžilo o celoslovenskú petíciu, ktorá sa dostala až k našej vláde, a otázku ekológiu už ani tam nikto nemôže ignorovať. No to najdôležitejšie, čo je asi v každom z nás, aby sme sa dostali do bodu, kedy prvotnú myšlienku idem si niečo kúpiť, prebije možno otázka, naozaj to potrebujem? Životný štýl, akým sme žili posledné roky, sa nedá zmeniť zo dňa na deň, ale krôčik po krôčiku každý z nás môže prispieť k tomu, že myšlienku udržateľnosti dostaneme do našich bežných životov.